God's word, faithfully preached, is his comprehensive equipment for changing lives, delivering them from the shackles of sin, the flesh, and the world, and transforming them into useful vessels through whom Jesus can pour out his blessings. Living Seed invites you to a feast of the truth as God's servant brings to us the word of life.
Help me tell someone, sir. Settle down, settle down. It has been joined. You are not helping me tell, he's not hearing you. Settle down. It has been joined. Joined. Everything is mixed now. Mixed. There's no way you can separate it. Even if you go and sleep in another room, you are wasting your time. It's joined. Even if you say, I won't talk to her, I won't talk to her, you are wasting your time. Oh. It's like you are deciding not to talk to your destiny. Are you hearing me? I want to tell you the truth. There's nowhere I am going. Even as a preacher, it has been joined. I know it. You can't, my mind is clear. It's joined. She's joined. I have to be sure that we are going together. So the Bible says, live joyfully. How did he say you should live? Joyfully. Enjoy life. Settle down. This is your own portion. It's joined. If she's barren, you will be barren. If she's productive, you will be productive. If you make her a doormat, you are making yourself a doormat. If you honor her, you are honoring yourself. If you allow her to grow well, you are only growing your own life. Wives, are you hearing me? It has been joined. And well, you see, it's only my children. No, I'm telling you, those things that you are calling your children, you are wasting your time. Those are passengers. The children are not joined together with that. Oh. Don't you understand? Do you know that a child can never be a child unless the umbilical cord was cut? Once the baby came out of your womb and you cut the umbilical cord, what are you saying? You are telling that baby, you are on your own. Now, follow me. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 1. Because what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. What should the wife then do? This is where we are going now. I want my amplified Bible reader. Where is the sister who promised to be reading amplified for me today? Now stand up. Thank you.
In like manner.
In like manner.
You married women.
You married women. All married women. Stretch forth your right hand. Let me see now. So God is talking directly to somebody now. You married women.
Be submissive to your own husbands.
Be submissive. Listen, there are two words that are very proper now. Be submissive to your own. What? Your own husband. That is very important. Your husband may not know how to write O even when you give him a bottle. But that's your own husband. What is God asking you to do? Submit to your own husband. There are many women, they want to submit to pastor. They want to submit to evangelist. They want to submit to prophet. They say, if not that the pastor told me, you are making a mistake. The pastor is not your own husband. The evangelist is not your own husband. Who is your own husband? Your own husband. And what did the Bible say you should do to your own husband? Submit to your own husband. Your own. Not to another husband. Sometimes when the discussion is going on in the house, your own husband has spoken. But when another man comes, and as he say, Madam, what is it? He say, it's because of you, sir. If you tell me to do it, I'll do it for you. But if it is for him, you may think that you are respecting the pastor. No. That man that you are saying, because of him, you have missed it. Who is God asking you to submit to? Your own husband. If your own husband is in level 4, what is God saying to do? Submit to him. Thank God you can speak good English very well. No matter how the message is moving you like this and your body is doing giri like this, once you remember that you have a husband, you know what God is expecting you to do? Carry that fire and go and meet him and said, as I was hearing the word of God today, it was occurring to me that we will do this. What do you say? And if he says, yes, we can do it, then you can come back and say, sir, my husband has agreed. That's how to be a correct wife. But nowadays I see pastors, new pastors. They capture people's wives. And they say, don't mind your husband. It's not serious. Do you know that such money that have been collected and put in the work of God is a disturbance to God's work? It's a disorder. And God will not honor it. I went somewhere to preach. And I entered and I saw the pastor said, oh, this woman has brought this car to the Lord. I didn't know anything about that. So, but me, I finished my preaching. And as I gave altar call, one woman came and was crying. Said, come and see what my husband is saying. I said, what is she saying? That man is a terrible man. It's the devil that is using him. I say, for what? He said, you see, the Lord told me to bring our car to the work of God. And I brought it. And the man is insisting now that if I don't bring back his car, I should go and marry the pastor. She said, I want you to agree with me. Let's pray and bind that spirit inside the man. I say, no, be me and you. No, we don't pray such prayer. I say, madam, sit down, sit down. Is he your husband? He said, yes. Did you tell him before you brought the car? Ah, no. I know you will not agree. I said, okay. I said, so I opened the Bible as we read. I said, carry the car and go on your knees and beg him that you are sorry and bring the car back. He said, but I've given it to the Lord. I said, the Lord has not accepted it. The pastor has accepted it, but the Lord has not accepted it. He said, what will I do? I said, I will talk to pastor now. So I called pastor. I said, pastor, you collected a car from a married woman. Did you get the consent of the husband? He said, we don't think it's necessary. The man is not serious. I said, you are not serious. You cannot be a serious preacher and forget what the Bible says. So we read Bible. And the pastor was very good. He was very obedient. He said, what do we do? I said, go and bring the car. Go and bring the key. Bring the particulars. And write a note of apology. You need to apologize to the man. Say, we are sorry for the confusion. We ought not to take the car without your consent. The woman drove the car that same weekend back to the house and did as we told her. Do you know what the man did? The man said, I know now that somebody has preached the word of God. I would like to meet that man. You see, many of our husbands, they are arrogant against the word of God because we ourselves have muddled up the truth. Yes, auntie, go ahead. As secondary to him, yes.
And dependent on them.
And dependent on them.
And adapt yourselves to them.
Do what? Adapt yourself. Excuse me. What does it mean to adapt? Be ready to adjust. A correct wife must never be rigid. Rigidity in a woman is the problem of his marriage or her marriage. What did the Bible say? Adapt. Yes, adaptation means this thing is not meant for this. But the man said, this is what I want it for. So what do? Adjust. To insist and say, this is what I want to do. Hey, you know that before I came from my father's house. Sorry, you have come from your father's house. Once you said, I will go with this man, you are going. Adapt yourself. Yes?
So that even if any do not obey the word of God,
yes,
they may be won over not by discussion.
Not by discussion.
But by the godly lies of their wives.
You see, many wives think that by discussion they can win their husband. That's not the way out. The way to win that man is to do what God is telling you to do. Adapt yourself to him. And this is why, again, my dear sister, young sisters, I have been begging you. If you marry an unbeliever, are you hearing me? Whatever he tells you to do, you will do it. This is my own problem. If God will deliver you, he will deliver you by delivering him. But there's nothing we can do about that. May God help us. So wives, submit to your own husband. The rest of the passage up to verse 6 is talking to the wife. How your outward beauty should not be the arrangement of elaborate arrangement of hairdo and all of that. Why you should be very beautiful, but the first beauty God is looking for is the beauty of a meek and a contrite spirit. A woman that is submissive, that is adaptable, a woman that can adjust, a woman that is saying, oh God, if this is what he wants, I must go with him. Even in our local proverb, they said, the soup that the husband does not eat, the wife must not do what? Cook it. You hear me? There is one soup that they eat in your village. And the day you cooked it, your husband said, and he began to vomit. What are you going to do with that soup from that day? But if you know how to persuade him and he started tasting it, or they say, "Kai, go and bring that pot of soup," then it's all right. But if I hear you say, "Well, in my own father's house, that's what we eat morning, evening, and afternoon. That's what I know how to cook." And if you don't want to eat it, it means you are not ready to eat. If you come to church and you say that, if we had power, we will first discipline you and send you to where to learn the soup he likes. That's the way out. Sister, thank you. Now, wives, have you understood? And if you read your Bible very well, that is the most important critical thing that God wants a woman to do in order not to cause disorderliness in their marriage. Now, please permit us to now address the man of the house. Let's do it. Now go with me to Ephesians 5. All of you quickly with me to Ephesians chapter 5. You see how the husbands were very excited when we were looking at wives, submit to your own husband. And I imagine one man say, me. Say, Gbile has told you now that all your English ended where? But I wanted to see what God also said. In verse 23, 21, 22, it says, submitting yourself one to another in the fear of the Lord. Wives, submit yourself to your own husbands as unto the Lord. Did you see how God is putting it? As if you are submitting to the Lord. That's how he wants you to do it. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Now, so let's quickly note. Therefore, as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. In how many things? Everything. Now 25. Husbands. Where are the husbands in this meeting? Let me see your hand up. All the husbands, let me see your hand up. Wave it and say, I am a husband. I am a husband. Yes, I'm happy now. Husbands, love your wives. How? How, please? Even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Now this is serious. How did Jesus Christ love the church? When we were yet sinners, that's when he died for us. I can hear many husbands, when their wives have fried chicken and have put shita on it, and everything is doing, smelling very well, then he will bring his hand and say, I love you. Let me tell you, love, the kind of love we are talking about here, is not an expression of empty words when you are excited. The Bible says, herein is love demonstrated, that while we were yet sinners, while we were yet weak, Christ died for us. Now, at what point will a husband demonstrate the love to his wife? Not when she's doing well. Your love is only demonstrated when she is impossible. when she is a sinner, when she has offended, when she has not done what you wanted, when she has appeared stubborn, that's the only time you can demonstrate what we are talking about. Yes, the sister is saying, brother, you got it. Because my husband only says I love you when I give him sex. Whenever I did something, he say, get away from here. If I had known, and you know, I said yesterday, one of the greatest problem of men is their words. When he bring one sentence like this, the woman is shattered. I had to work with a couple for almost 2 years for me to be able to get their marriage back into shape. And do you know what happened? The day they finished wedding, and as they were going home for their honeymoon, and I think there was no car to carry them, and so he stopped this achaba. You know this achaba? Oh, don't worry, that's her own husband, only achaba. So when they stop achaba, the woman said, is the achaba I will carry on the day of my wedding? And I've never taken achaba before. The husband stood and said, why are you being difficult? You know I don't have a car before you marry me. Jump into achaba and let us go now. Or are you the devil? Finished. For more than 5 years, that single statement finished the marriage. Every time I ask, say he calls me devil, I'm devil. I'm devil. Because I couldn't enter achaba, I'm devil. I told him, let us even trek. At least I will know that me and my husband, we are working together. How do you put me on achaba? And if the man go and fall me down somewhere, how will I know? Let's trek. He said, are you devil? I can't trek anywhere. If you can't enter achaba, then do anything you like. And the man jumped on achaba. And he gave money to the other achaba boy and said, bring her when she's ready. From that day, their marriage was in trouble. And for years, it couldn't be resolved. When is it to show the love to your wife? Not when she cooked well. Not when she was completely obedient. I'm always hearing husband say, if you want me to love you, do what I tell you to do. You are not biblical. That's not the Bible. What does the Bible say? While we were yet sinners, Christ died not for the righteous, but for the ungodly. Every time your wife makes a mistake, I want to inform you, please, it is only an opportunity to show the love of God. The mistake that your wife makes is not opportunity to rebuke her. Hey, husband, you are not following me again. It's not a time to shout. That is the only opportunity to bring the love of Christ. That is the only time that God is giving you a chance to show her the compassion of the Savior. That time that she has not done what you wanted her to do. That time that you wanted to go to church and you are supposed to be in church by 9 a.m. and it is 5 minutes to 9. Your wife now finish all that she was doing and she needed to go and take her bath, you say, oh my God, what kind of woman is this? I am never known to go late since my baptism. What kind of woman is this? You know see time, and you went to school, you know see time. Madam, bring your hand. No, you know see time. You know see time. If you know that we are going somewhere at 9 a.m., is it 5 minutes to 9 you will be bathing? But you forgot. It was your akamu that she was making. It was your baby she was bathing. And it was your clothes she was ironing. And then you jam the door of the car. Whenever you are ready, meet me up. When did Jesus show this love to us? When we were ungodly. When we were weak. When we were not congruent with his will. When is a husband going to show love to his wife? Only at her weak points. At the time when she seemed not to understand. At the time when she seems to be a squanderer. Some of you say, you see, I gave her 5,000. How did you go to market? You spend 5,000. If I'm gathering money like that, will you meet anything? The woman is saying, you know, market has changed. You know, they have changed prices of everything now. Since all these people have taken over. You don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. If that's how I'm squandering money, will you meet anything? Don't eat me up, oh. See that kind of language. So when your wife is coming, she's coming to a lion. Then you are happy. Say, where did you put that? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are not a husband. You are a husband. You know there is another thing that look like husband. H-O-R-S-E, band. You know a husband. When they are going for battle in those days, they are on the horse. And he uses what? Horsepower. Horsepower. But the Bible word for husband is H-U-S-B-A-N-D. Not H-O-R-S-E. Horse is, they use horsepower. That's all. But the Bible husband comes from husbandry. You know the word husband comes from husbandry. And what is husbandry? The act of taming, of caring, of feeding a wild animal to make it a household pet. That's husbandry. You are not a husband if you are not tender. You are not a husband if you are not able to tame by presenting the need. Even if your wife is a wild cat, a husband will turn her to a household pet. Friends, are you a husband or a husband? Have you ever seen when people are riding horse? What do you notice? Everything is by force. Everything is by force. Horsepower. When you come back and say, yes, where's my food? If your food is 10 minutes late, you say, oh my God. What are you here for? What did I marry you for? For me, I went out since 7:30 a.m. I'm coming back at 4, and there's no food waiting for me. Wow! Husband, the way you scream, all the children say, Baba has gone, Daddy is gone, Daddy has gone, Daddy has gone, Daddy has gone, Daddy has gone. Everywhere is in trouble when you arrive. You are not a husband. The husband in the Bible comes from husbandry. It's an husbandman who is tender, who is meticulous, who can communicate even with a dumb animal, and the animal understands. It's not by shouting, it's by loving. How did Jesus love the church? The Bible said he died for us. And I'm really praying for a husband in each one of us that will accept death in order for our wives to be great. We will accept lowering in order for her to be sanctified. We will accept to pay a ransom, to release ourselves, to drop our glory, to drop our dignity, so that that woman can rise. What is God looking for in me as a husband? He wants the glory of Christ to be made manifest in my life, to my wife. Look at what it says. Now I'm finishing, because I just must finish now. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Please look at this. Christ, what is he doing to the church every time? What is he doing to the church every time? He's washing it. Washing. Excuse me, brother. He is not criticizing it. He is not accusing it. He is not pushing it down. What is he doing? He is washing it. He's washing it. Friend, do you wash your wife in order to sanctify her by the word of God? How many husbands carry the word of God and will sit in a corner with their wives, and they say, my wife, let's just study. This is how God is saying. If you know that several women here, they only will not talk now, because if they talk, when you get to say, so what were you trying to say? Are you the only woman in church that you are talking fata? Is it so that they can know that I'm not doing well, or what? What are you talking? So they have learned to be quiet. Say, well, we thank God. But when you get to the heart of many wives, their husband have never, there are several husbands sitting here who have never knelt down to read the Bible and teach their wife anything. If the woman does not say, Baba, let's pray, he will not wake up to pray. He said, I'm busy. What are you busy doing? How can you be so busy that your primary responsibility as a husband, you have failed in it? To cleanse her with the washing of water. I believe, and this is what I believe. I believe that the wife is the reflection of the glory of her husband. If you see a woman that is spiritual, whenever people are praising her, the reflection of the glory goes to the husband. So husbands, what are you doing to help your wife? How many of you invest in your wife? How many of you do something deliberately to make your wife better sanctified? What are you doing to help your wife to overcome anger? What are you doing to help your wife to overcome the carelessness that you have been complaining about? Hey, my wife is very careless. The reason why I don't give her money is because she doesn't know how to keep account. What are you doing to train her on how to manage family resources? Is that why you are the accountant of the house? And every morning she will kneel down and said, money for pepper. Is that how much? 20 naira. Yes. Money for tomato. Will 50 naira not do? Okay. Money for pomade. I give you 30 naira for that. As groundnut oil finish, why are you drinking it? I thought you bought groundnut oil last week. What are you drinking oil in this house? I'm not buying any groundnut oil now. Till next week. I've told you that when we buy one, it will last 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So as she's on her knees, sir, what are you doing to make that woman great? What are you doing to make that woman resourceful? What are you doing to make that woman dependable? If it were Jesus, see what he has been doing to help us. He's cleansing us every day, washing our lives by water, by the word of God. Are you spending time? You see this kind of meeting that we have organized. Are you going to give interest and say, my wife, this thing has touched us. Let's put the video in our bedroom so that we can be watching it together. Do you make any investment? Did you see something that can help your wife to grow and you invest in it? Some of you married your wife when she was about to finish primary 7. You are the one who rushed and said, let's just marry now. Let's just marry now. When you get to my house, you will go to school. She's been in your house now for 10 years. You have been going from one in-service training to another. Now you are now HND older. Your wife is still primary 7. So whenever there is an important function, you say, well, I can't go with you because they speak English there. They don't speak Hausa. They don't speak Hausa. So you keep her as Mama Yard. She's a jejet in the house. You are now looking for office girl who will go with you for the cocktail party. Are you doing well? When we were yet sinner, when we were nothing, when we were in the dungeon, he picked us up and he made us something. What have you made your wife? Since you married her, she has only diminished. She has not grown. She cannot stand among her age mates because you have not helped her. And when you now need when some special guests are coming, maybe somebody is coming from Lagos, you are not happy to take them home because you say, my wife doesn't know how to cook a modern dish. That's why you are using caterers. That's why you are going from one pepper soup joint to another. You are going to Mr. Biggs. And many husbands now, they don't eat at home again. Mr. Biggs have collected their money. What are you doing to improve this woman? Before we conclude this seminar and this revival meeting, you are going to pray. Wives, I've told you that you will be adapting yourself to your husband. But men, I want you to hear God saying that he might present it to himself a glorious church. What are you doing to make your wife presentable? Ah, my God. How many husbands? Look, sir, come. They can't walk like this with their wife. They are ashamed. Yeah, go. I'm coming. So the wife is walking as if she's a widow. Or the wife is walking far, far behind, while he is walking in front as a chief. Do you know what Jesus does as a correct husband? He makes us presentable. He is not ashamed. He said he is not ashamed to call us his brethren. Are you ashamed to introduce your wife? Sometimes visitors will come. They will come. They will have sat down in the house. You will have been talking. And then your wife enters like a house girl. And the man is waiting for you to say, this is my wife. You are always apologetic. You know, some of us married too early before we were civilized. That's when he wants to talk about the wife. He said, you know, I married before we were civilized. And in fact, you see, it's just because I'm a Christian. It's my mother that put her in my life. I didn't intend to marry this kind. But where we are Christian, that's why I'm just managing with her. And you know those things affect women so much. Every wife rejoices. Let me tell you, the next time you do it, you will see how your wife will be so happy. When you say, let's go together, and you are walking together, your wife feels somebody. She feels nice. When you are going to governor, I want to inform you, sir. Can I inform you something that I believe? Do you want me to tell you? There is nothing glorious about English. English is nothing. It's a language. It's like my mother tongue. Are you hearing me? Why are you ashamed that your wife could not speak English, but she speaks Hausa very well? What's the problem? Let her speak Hausa. Let the governor or whosoever, let him need an interpreter. Am I correct? What's the problem? Now, to present him to himself. Thank you, sir. Now, he makes her presentable. And right in your house. Hallelujah. That it should be holy, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing. So ought men to love their own wives. Finally, sir, when we read Psalm 127 and 128, do you remember we started with Psalm 127 and 128? I want you now to report there. That's where we are ending. We have gone round, we must end again. Now, Psalm 127 and 128 that we read. Except the Lord build the house, they that build it, they labor in vain. Where do we end our discussion? Except the Lord. Unless you will surrender to the Lord and say, oh Lord, please help me with my marriage, all that we have said will only be in vain. Wives, what I've said may look difficult, but if you will go to the Lord and say, Lord, help me. Husband, what I've said may look too strong, but if you will turn to the Lord, He will give you grace to obey Him. He said, you will eat the labor of your hands, and happy shall thou be, and it shall be well with you, in the name of Jesus. Your wife, look at the Bible, Psalm 128 verse 3. Your wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of your house. And your children will be like what? Like olive plants round about your table. I did not have time tonight to talk about one critical aspect of building the family. What is it? The table. It's a little thing, but it's very critical. The table, that table where we eat together. He said your children, they will be like olive plants where? Around your table. I know for many wives, you have dining table, but it's not for eating. When I visit any family and I look at the dining table, you will see either books there or something. They don't understand. The table is the place of fellowship. How I wish that every day, even if you cannot eat together at the table 3 times, at least one meal when all the family are seated together. Where all your children, your daughters, your sons, and yourself and your wife, you are gathered together. And am I talking about Oyibo something? No. There's nothing about it. You can even put a mat. And you sit. And you learn to wait for one another. And the father of the house says the grace. And everybody eats. And you know, as you are eating together, you cannot eat together and be fighting. Am I correct? So the table is the place of reconciliation every day. It's the place of communion every day. It's the place where issues are resolved because you are together. Oh, but look at what has happened to many of your marriages. Since you got married, you ate together for the first 1 year. After that, say, keep my own there. I'm not ready, I'm reading newspaper. All the things that God had established to give you a vibrant family. The table, the dining table, where your children are all around you. It is there you will see the child that is greedy. Am I right? The child that will take the biggest meat and he will say, no, I will not give you. Then you can see it and deal with it. Fathers, are you on the table? Your seat is always vacant. Gradually, nobody uses that table anymore. Gradually, the wife is eating in the kitchen. Small time. Your children, some are eating in the bedroom, some are eating in the outside. Oh God, you have destroyed something. When will you restore the family table? When at least once you join hands together and you pray together and say, let us eat. Hallelujah. There is the other table. The table of the Lord, where the word of God is opened regularly as a family altar. And then the other table, that one is located in the bedroom. That relationship, that glorious conjugal relationship between the man and his wife. May the Lord help us. Tonight I want to commend you to God. I want to commend you to him who is able to keep you and who is able to sustain. I want to tell you that God has begun a good work in your families and he will perfect it. Your family is not going to be a trouble anymore. It's going to be a blessing. It's going to be a place of rest. It's going to be a place of the release of the glory of God. But do not forget, it has been joined together. Your destiny joined. Not just loosely joined, mixed. together, inseparably joined. Settle down. Enjoy life with the wife that God has given you. Rejoice in one another as you rejoice in the Lord. May the Lord, who himself is very passionate about your marriages, may he bless you and may he perfect all that concerns you in the name of Jesus.
This has been Living Seed. For further inquiry or counsel, contact Peace House, P.O. Box 971, Boko, Benue State, Nigeria. Telephone numbers 0703 0363659, 0703 7681198. Email address lsmedia@livingseed.org, or visit our website at www.livingseed.org. Make it a date with us next week.